Welcome back to WaterparkRangers. Let's play Pikmin 2. In the last episode, we got our asses kicked in this new dungeon, Subterranean Complex, instantly putting our party down to about 60 Pikmin in a single hit. This floor is rather annoying, but it's also kind of straightforward. It's really, there's going to be a lot of volatile dweevils that drop from above. You've seen them, I think, in the shower room, and probably, yeah, Submerged Castle. This is probably the area in the game where they're most frequently encountered. I mean, the dungeon in the game where they're most frequently encountered. This floor just bombards you, get it? Bombards you, with bomb rocks on the floor, bomb rocks that fall from the sky, and volatile dweevils that spawn from the sky and are also already on the floor. So just approach your problems with a group of white Pikmin, and they'll be able to carry white-flowered Pikmin. That's pretty important. They'll be able to carry the treasures back in record time. Really, they don't have to worry about bombs. Most likely. If you're pretty careful, they won't have to worry about bombs. I could only think of, like, being a very unfortunate incident in which they're going down, like, a narrow stretch, and then, in that long, narrow stretch before they turn a corner, like, a bomb rock falls, like, on the treasure or in front of the treasure, and then it blows them all up, but that's probably not gonna happen. Let's get real. Let's be realistic here, guys. Seriously, that's probably not gonna happen. But it can happen. I suppose, once again, rule of thumb in Pikmin 2 is just assume things are gonna go wrong. They probably are. When you expect that they won't, they will. Why didn't I think of that rule when I was up against the that bull bear and when I was up against that armored cannon beetle larva? See, the two times when I didn't account for the one little thing, like, hey, you might want to shut that electric cord first, or hey, you might want to, like, take some time to lure him away and then get him trapped behind a different wall with that an electric cord. Or hey, you might want to do a little bit of damage and then run away, or you might want to, like, even use your rocket punch to, like, take out that enemy. I didn't think of taking the most extreme measures, and so therefore I had an extreme... Whoa, where are my Pikmin? Oh, never mind. I was worried for a moment. I was like, where are my... I saw my Pikmin reacting differently. Wait. Holy crap, did I just lose a Pikmin? Yeah, I think I lost a Pikmin. Wow. The only explanation I can find is maybe the President's squad right there. Whoa! Oh, never mind. Maybe the President's squad there was, like, so clipped closely together that one of them clipped through the area and fell out. President, you let a Pikmin die. Now we must let you die. I don't really like the President that much, to be perfectly honest. I know some people really like him. They're like, oh, he's epic. We'll see what's so epic about him. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool that you get to play as a president. I have to say, I didn't see that coming. That was an interesting spoiler for me. I think that's one thing I didn't really spoil for myself. I actually spoiled almost the entire game for myself before I played it, due to someone who had uploaded a walkthrough on GameFAQs/GameFAQs, whatever. However that's pronounced. Feel free to tell me how people pronounce that in the comments below. No joke. But yeah, I spoiled the whole game for myself there before it even came out in America. Basically, the Japanese release. So they had all the, like, the names for the Japanese areas and stuff in the dungeons translated. And they actually did have some different spellings. The last area in the Japanese version, I think, is actually called the Land of Promise. That's what it's translated as, which I think is a pretty cool name for it. But the names for the rest of the dungeons and areas weren't really that cool, though. Except for the final dungeon. The final dungeon in the Japanese version of Pikmin 2 is a cooler name. Den of the Deep Dark. Awesome name. Den of the Deep Dark. But it's too bad that's not the name of this one. I mean, it's like, it's not the worst, but it doesn't sound that awesome either. Whoa! Me being stupid, I just threw some Pikmin over the edge. Okay, this floor is kind of stupid and annoying because its theme is basically they put a crapload of enemies in a really short space. Sometimes it's even hard to see what's going on because they're so close together, and also because there's poison gas that sometimes obscures the vision, your vision of what's going on. There are also fiery and Munge Dweevils. I'm not sure if I've mentioned the Munge Dweevil. This may be its first appearance. The Munge Dweevil is a Dweevil that is purple-colored and it uses poison to protect itself. Other than that, it's just like a normal Dweevil. Though it does have one really strange difference from the others. But, unlike the other Dweevils, it actually has higher HP, which means that it can't really be as easily dealt with by either your Pikmin or your Captain's Rocket Punch. So I guess that does make it a little bit different. It's also a little bit odd that they didn't choose to color it white, because that would have cleared up, like, you need whites to fight this type of Pikmin. Because when it's colored purple, it's like you need purples, but I guess it kind of makes sense because purples do dish out more damage when they're thrown. So maybe the coloration actually makes sense. It is also kind of strange that they call it a Munge Dweevil, I mean, so I guess poison wasn't good enough for them. Well, I kind of like that. I mean, it's better than just calling things Electric Beetle or Electric Dweevil. It's just kind of... Whoa! Jerk! Jerk! I guess it just goes to show you how quick electricity kills your Pikmin. The electricity literally wasn't even there for like half a second, and it killed the Pikmin that touched it. That was insane. And I'm having a hard time finding the other treasure on this floor. This is a small floor, and the treasure gauge is not showing anything of interest, but might as well get rid of the Creating Dirigido, because as long as there's one of those around, it's bad news. They weren't really common in Submerged Castle, but they're just appearing non-stop, as you can see by this point. This dungeon is probably where they're most frequently encountered, but the last three dungeons of the game do have quite a few of them as well. So you do want to be on the lookout. Ah, I guess I somehow missed it. Wow. Now that I think about it, I could have just, like, not even gone into that area where I lost the 2 red Pikmin by getting electrocuted. I could have just stayed over here, and all would have been fine. A glitch that does occasionally appear here is that a Dweevil will pick up a treasure and then run away with it over the edge. But never fear, if that happens, only the Dweevil will die. The treasure will in fact spawn back on the floor before you even leave it. It'll just, like, fall back down in a puff of smoke. That's a really odd effect, but at least I'm glad that's there. At least they don't make it like you can't obtain the treasure and you have to reset the floor. That would suck. As you saw, there was also another geyser on this floor. This dungeon gives you plenty of chances to escape before the end, which is, I guess, kind of generous. Yeah, there's one on floor 4, another one on floor 6. There's going to be one on floor 8, and of course the final floor always has to have one. Wouldn't it suck if for once there was a final floor without a geyser, meaning the only way you could get out is if you gave up and escaped, meaning you couldn't get any treasures on that floor, and if you hadn't used the geyser earlier, you basically wouldn't be able to take any of the treasure with you. That would have sucked. New enemy! Gatling Groink, one of the most nefarious enemies in the game. It's encountered in this dungeon. Basically, it's an advanced enemy, unlike the Spotty Bullbear that actually appears at an advanced point like it should. Because this dungeon is deserving of about a 4-star rating, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit more if you have a ton of difficulty in it. As you can see, they're really great at shaking your Pikmin off, and those explosives will only kill Pikmin, typically, that are directly, like, hit by the individual bullets. That's not always the case, though, so just be careful of that. So yes, Gatling Groink's irritating enemies. Swarming them really does nothing. You have to throw Pikmin at them. They're also sometimes patrolling in place like turrets. Their shots, I do also believe that those set off bomb rocks, so do be on the lookout for that. Ones that are in turret form may have more HP, I'm not certain. I don't think they do, though. So many bombs! Okay, we're safe, though. And one extra little feature you might notice, like the Spotty Bullbear, once you've defeated them, they'll start regaining that HP back, so you do want to get off the floor, or collect them in the research pod before escaping. Me, I'm going to play it dangerously and leave them alive, or I should say, on the verge of death. They can't really die unless you do the thing. And just get the treasures and stuff in the meantime. It's kind of cruel how they make volatile Dweevils fall from above for the treasures on this floor, so do be on the lookout for that. There's also a Careening Dirigibug somewhere, but typically it spawns in a place where it's not really going to cause a problem, so I don't have much advice for dealing with it. My advice to you is basically for the Gatling Groinks. They're an advanced enemy. They're a tough enemy, and for the reasons that I've listed, they're very threatening to your crew. I would recommend that you use bitter sprays on them. For basically every Gatling Groink you encounter, if you've been, like, doing as I've advised and getting a good supply of bitter sprays, either by harvesting in the Perplexing Pool while you've got the chance, or from the Doodle Bugs on the first floor of the Frontier Cavern, you're going to be set for bitter sprays, and you can basically spray any Groink that crosses your path, which is great because then they won't be able to come back to life once they're shattered, just like the Spotty Bullbear. Also, if I'm not mistaken, this really, like, unassuming treasure right there is actually worth 300 Pokos. One of the reasons why this dungeon just gives you so many Pokos is because of that treasure. It just gives you close to 2,000 really quickly. And because that one is inevitably probably going to come back to life before we get the treasure back, I am going to at least show you what happens, like, if Pikmin are carrying an enemy that comes back to life. I think that'd be cool to see. I know I'm kind of being risky around the Gatling Groinks, and they're a dangerous enemy, no doubt. And they don't cease to be a bothersome enemy from this point onwards. God, they are horrible. But I should at least show you this little trick. So let's have our Pikmin pick it up. And I'll showcase this interesting little animation. So the Groink stands up and basically squats out and shoots Pikmin every which way. The reason they're dangerous on these rusty metal floors is because of their huge kicks they can all send Pikmin flying over the edge. And with our 300 Poco treasure, we'll finish off this dungeon next episode. See you then.